So I've had my Steam Deck for a few months now, and it's been awesome. I've been able to play my favorite Steam games whenever and wherever I want. But I just can't shake the feeling I'm not getting the most out of this device. This thing has so much raw potential to do all this cool stuff, and only playing Steam games feels like an insult to the device. So today, I'm going to try some fun stuff with this Steam Deck. Stuff I should have done a long time ago. We'll see if I've been missing out or if I'm already getting the most out of my Steam Deck. So will it be a huge waste of time, or will I ascend to the next level in my gaming journey? So on the docket for today, we have 4 things that we want to hit. Number 1, try out some emulator games because I love those retro games. Number 2, dock the Steam Deck and play it on a TV like a console. Number 3, stream to my Steam Deck from my PC. And number 4, play a game with mods. If I can knock out all of these, I'll be one happy camper. And so will Jake, because he gets to use it more than I do. So the first thing, test out some emulator games. How hard could it be? This is one that I'm super excited about. There are a ton of games from my childhood and Jake's childhood that we've been really wanting to play lately. So my goal is to figure out how to bring these games that are just bursting with nostalgia straight to my Steam Deck. But the question is, where do you even begin? When you boot up the Steam Deck, it puts you in gaming mode. But apparently, there's this whole other side to the deck that you can access called PC mode. Ooh. And because it's Linux, Arch Linux specifically, there's a lot you can do. It's not something that I've really explored much of, but today, that's going to change because it's built off of Arch Linux. So hopefully, by the end of the video, I can say I use Arch now, right? It's Arch, by the way. So to access this mystical PC mode, you simply hold down the power button on the top and you can switch. Not bad, huh? Okay, but now what? Now that we're in desktop mode, how do we even do stuff? It looks like I can move my mouse around the page and click with these pads and click with the triggers, but I don't see a keyboard and I don't even know how to open apps or anything. I got familiarized with the keyboard. You just use the shortcut Steam and X. You click the screen and navigate. It's a little easier than using the joysticks to type. So to get the emulator up and running, apparently I need to install something called emudeck. Emudeck? It's a software used to run emulators like the PS2, N64, Game Boy, basically anything. But to get emudeck, I'm gonna call it emudeck, I first need to open Firefox, the web browser, but nothing is currently installed. And to even install Firefox, I need something called Flatpak. So let's get Flatpak installed first because it will make everything 100 times easier, in theory. It's essentially an app installer for Linux which pulls from this giant app library safely and automatically. So to install Flatpak, I ended up using the terminal. It just seemed like the easiest way based on my research and prior Linux experience. You go to the start menu and you search for a console with a K for some reason. I think they're trying to be real cool. And then you type in the command flatpak remote add blah 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 blah. It's here on the screen if you want to follow that or, you know, do your own thing. We'll need that keyboard shortcut we talked about earlier, so you press Steam X to access it. But new problem, the shortcuts aren't working anymore. Why? After troubleshooting, apparently the Steam app needs to be open on the desktop for the keyboard shortcut to work. So that's fun. So nothing works the first time you try. That's Linux for you. I've come to accept it and hate it at the same time. Now we can install Firefox from the Discover menu. Basically, it's a software repository, and I'm gonna download OBS for recording. And it's actually really cool. It's super easy. That's it. That's all you do. Press install, boom, boom, boom. Now that that's done, let's go to emudeck and install the emulators. You download it and run the installer. It's that easy. Then you basically let the emudeck set up all of the emulators automatically. This entire process takes a while and it shows you what it's installing. And I can't tell you what any of it means, but I can tell you something is happening.
You know how I'm always trying to optimize my desk setup to make it as functional as possible? Well, I realized I've been overlooking something I use every single day, my car. That's where today's sponsor Lasfit comes in. Lasfit makes floor mats that protect your car from pretty much anything, whether it's dust, mud, rain, or even dog hair. And they're easy to clean, which is super convenient for people with busy schedules. Between commuting every day, picking up the kids, and going out and having fun on the weekends, your car gets dirty quickly, and you probably don't have a ton of time to clean it. So having mats that are super easy to wipe down is a huge bonus. They're built to last a lot longer than normal mats. They're made of something called TPE, so you won't see those nasty nasty splits or curling edges that rubber mats get after a while. And on hot days, you won't get that nasty rubber smell either. Did I mention that the floor mats are also reusable and recyclable? So you're not just tossing them into a landfill someday. They can be melted down and turned into something else. But for me, the real game changer was getting the trunk mat. Before, dirt and dog hair would get stuck in the fabric and it was almost impossible to clean. But now, it's so nice. To get one for yourself, all you have to do is choose your car model and Lasfit has mats ready to go, made to fit perfectly. It even had the same slot so I could latch it in. Make sure to check out Lasfit in the description below. They're celebrating their 8th anniversary and use the discount code LANS20 or LANS20 to get 20% off.
And now it's ready. Well, not ready to play any games yet. That would be too easy. Because now we need to download the ROMs. You can download these off the internet from various websites. You just search the game you want and you add the word ROM and you should be able to find them. Of course, I should mention that you should do this with legally sourced files or games that you already own in real life. To make your life way easier, I recommend installing a tool called Warpinator. It's like AirDrop, but for your Steam Deck. It lets you drag and drop files from your PC directly to your Steam Deck without needing to find and download from the Steam Deck itself, because it gets pretty old trying to navigate the internet on this little tiny screen with a tiny keyboard. Also, if you're smart, unlike me, I recommend using a mouse and keyboard with your Steam Deck during this process. It will save you lots of headaches. To install Warpinator on your Steam Deck, you again use the Discover tab. Boom. It's so convenient. I love it. And on the PC, we'll have to install something called Winpinator. It's just the PC side of Warpinator. Just make sure they're both on the same network and boom, Bob's your uncle. Why is that a saying? And why do I say boom so much? Warpinator feels so powerful. Now I can mass download ROMs of all the games I love and just warp them to my Steam Deck. See what I did there? Next, I need to take the ROMs and put them in the correct file. So you go to the EmuDeck app and press manual upload. It will show you a huge file with a ton of different emulators. You just copy and paste the ROMs to the relevant emulator file folder and you're good to go. So N64 ROMs go into the N64 folder, Game Boy ROMs go into the Game Boy folder, and so on and so forth. Then, when you're ready, you switch back to game mode and you can access the ROMs with something called Emulation Station. To open this, you need to go to the library and go to this section called Non-Steam Games. Now, if you run it, you can choose which emulator you want to open. And within each emulator are the games we downloaded earlier. Pretty cool, huh? This worked seamlessly with old games like Pokemon, Smash, Mario Kart. But when I tried PS2 games like Battlefront 2, I had to go back and do a bit of extra work to install the BIOS for these systems. You can find the BIOS online legally and add it to the relevant file within EmuDeck and go about playing your favorite games. But I have to say, there really is something special about playing games from my childhood on this Steam Deck. The OLED screen makes everything look so good. Like, it wasn't good back in the day, it's good now. I also think it's funny that they put the fake buttons on the side to avoid having these thick black bars because it's square back in the day and now it's not. It's just so cool. I wish I had done this earlier. I think I would have enjoyed gaming on it a lot more. It's way better than emulating on a PC. So I would rate this a 10 out of 10 experience. It's not the easiest, but you can pretty much play anything on this thing. Now that we finally figured out the emulators, it's time to up the ante. We need to go hard or go home. Apparently, with a few simple and cheap pieces of tech, we can turn this Steam Deck into a proper console. We're gonna dock it to our TV. So to do this, I picked up a $25 Steam Deck dock I found on Amazon from Sabrent, and the thing had like 5,000 reviews, so I figured it must be good. And then I picked up two wireless controllers for $30 each, and they're from 8BitDo, and I got them because I couldn't stand the $70 price tag on the PlayStation controllers. Plus, 8BitDo sounds like a cool retro company. These can connect to the hub with USB-C, so you know, hopefully it all works seamlessly. When everything arrived, I had to figure out how to get all this tech to just fit together. The Steam Deck, the dock, the controllers, and the TV, just smash it together. The Sabrent dock felt pretty cheap and plasticky, but as long as it does a job, I don't care. And the controllers feel great. Now, I'm not a huge controller person, so I don't know much about them. There's probably something better out there with like, I don't know, Hall effect switches, but I don't have any complaints. A few things weren't included in the dock though, like a USB-C cable, a power source, source and HDMI cable? Come on. But after scavenging a 65-watt charging port, an HDMI cable, we were up and running. The dog even charges the Steam Deck for you, so now we have a place to charge it when it's not in use. It's pretty awesome. And let me tell you, playing these games on TV brought back some pretty strong nostalgia. There's just nothing quite like playing on the TV. After over a decade or two of only playing games on a PC, there's just something special about like your whole family and friends hanging about the TV with controllers, sitting there and laughing. Plus, as a side bonus, whenever my daughter sees me playing on the Steam Deck, instead of just stealing it from me, I can give her an unplugged controller and keep enjoying my game. It's fun. Gives me flashbacks to playing with my younger sister. But now, we can check that one off the list. That one, I would say, was an easy one. Also, 10 out of 10. So cheap, affordable, and worth it. Okay, so this next one is pretty stinking cool. What if I told you your Steam Deck could have unlimited power and run games like Cyberpunk 2077? Well, I'd be lying. Did I sound like Arnold there? That seemed like an Arnold thing. But what you can do is channel the computing power of your PC and play those games that just churn through your hardware and eat up your graphics card through something called remote play. Essentially, you can stream games from your PC onto your Steam Deck. It lets you play games that you would otherwise seriously struggle to play. So let's try it out, because if this thing is slow and laggy, it's gonna ruin the whole gaming experience. But if it's good, it's gonna be awesome. So to get this set up, we need to make sure that both of the devices are on the same network. Next, make sure the Steam is open on both of them. Check, boom, done. Then you open up Cyberpunk 2077, and instead of the download option, you choose the drop-down menu and select Stream from PC. So then you just add the corresponding code and it works. I can even work through the menus and pop-ups as the game is loading. Steam really thought of everything, huh? And after playing and streaming Cyberpunk 2077, said it right that time, on this thing, I have some thoughts. First off, there is no noticeable lag between the PC and the Steam Deck as long as your internet is pretty fast, which we have. To clarify, there is some lag, but it does not mess with the gameplay. So if you were to play a competitive game like Valorant or Overwatch, I definitely recommend doing that through your PC. Plus, I don't think those games work with Linux anyways. But Cyberpunk felt smooth and responsive overall. Another thing, the OLED screen next to my PC monitor really shows how good OLED is. Man, the colors and screen brightness just blow it straight out of the water. I seriously might need to upgrade my monitor to OLED at some point because I'm starting to get some serious FOMO. But let me know, would you like to see a video on that? Because I need a reason to splurge. I will say though, the OLED Steam Deck screen does have a lot more glare. And you'll see reflections here and there, such as Jig's face when he's filming this B-roll for me. But when you're actively using it, like playing on it, the glare doesn't really bother you. So I'd rate Remote Play another 10 out of 10. It's easy to set up, smooth, and makes it easy to play games away from your PC, as long as you're in the same network. Now I can play Cyberpunk 2077 during my lunch breaks at work. And finally, there's one more thing I want to do. Something I've been waiting to do for a long time that will take my gaming experience to the next level. Wait, have I said that already? I want to try installing mods. But first, what game should we choose? Well, being who I am, I should choose the most hardcore game of all time, Stardew Valley. Okay, I know, it's not the coolest game, but oh my gosh, I love this game. It's so relaxing and the soundtrack is a bop. Hopefully, I can get it to work on my Steam Deck. Otherwise, I'm gonna be pretty sad and it'll be a big waste of time, but I can still enjoy the game. But if it works, I have endless hours of new modded gameplay to explore in one of my favorite games. But first, how does one go about modding a game? For Stardew Valley specifically, people recommend a piece of software called SMAPI. It stands for Stardew Modding API, which basically means it loads the mods for the games and helps manage which mods you use. And if you want to mod a different game, you probably need something similar, but for that game. So I downloaded it from the website on my PC, I warped it to my Steam Deck again, extracted the file, and then opened the Linux install file. But of course, it doesn't just run, right? We're on Linux, so we need to use the terminal. So let's open up the console with a K again. So I tried running it with bash, but apparently the file's not executable yet. So instead I used a chmod and then was able to run it right after. If you don't know what any of this means, trust me, I barely know what I'm doing. Just use what I call the golden square of knowledge. Google. Reddit, Stack Overflow, and Chat GPT. You can do anything in life if you know how to use those and then filter through the bad answers. After running the file, you follow the next simple steps to set it up. Now, I accidentally chose the hard route instead of using the preset folder destination, so I had to figure out how to copy and paste without messing up, which proved quite challenging. Some things are just a little awkward on a Steam Deck. So now, when I launch Stardew Valley through game mode, it should load SMAPI as well. And yep, there it is. The only problem is, I don't have any mods yet, so let's go and find some fun ones online and boot them up. So I went to my PC again and I warped a bunch of stuff. I found mods on a website called Nexus Mods. Now before downloading the fun mods, you need a few base mods that lets you even do the fun ones. So you need one called the Content Patcher, which gives the mods the ability to even interact with the game in the first place. With that done, I went and downloaded something called Stardew Valley Expanded, which basically introduces thousands and thousands of assets, new fish, new farms, new storylines, new love interests. I also got some other ones like Farm Type Manager, Look Up Anything, and Seasonal Buildings. All the highest rated stuff at my fingertips. So with that downloaded, I extracted the files from the zip folders and sent them straight to the Steam Deck with Warpinator and added it to my mod files. Then all that was left to do was start up the game and play the mods. It's been a long time since I've been this pumped to play games. It really is a privilege to be able to just re-experience this game with all the new stuff and the mods. So I can finally say we made it through our Steam Deck checklist and have unlocked the full potential of this device. Or have we? What if next time I did some crazy stuff like turn it into a home lab? Wait, what does that even mean? No, that's just too crazy.
Thanks to Lasfit for sponsoring this video. To get one, go to the link in the description below and find your car model. Use the discount code LANS20 to get 20% off.
But in the meantime, check out this video right here to check out other cool tech and my Linux experience. I've been loving it. I'm an Arch user now, by the way.